Hello and welcome to Truth Matters Unplugged. So Benny Johnson from the Benny Johnson Show and, very popular Christian conservative commentator who is very well known in political circles. He knows at least all the conservative senators and Congress people and rubbed shoulders with Trump and so forth. And he was also a good friend of Charlie Kirk. Received a death threat just shortly after Charlie's assassination, and now the FBI has hunted down that person and caught them, and that person is in custody. So I'm going to show you what the letter contained, and I also want you to watch how Pam Bondi's speech, listen to what she says before and after Benny spoke. So let's take a look at this video.
It is a crime, and if convicted, he is going to prison. This was incredible teamwork. Benny called me right away. Chief Burkhoff, thank you. You were on it right away. Matt Fodor and all the FBI agents. Thank you, U.S. Attorney Kehoe. All of the U.S. Postal Service, FBI, state and local law enforcement working together. This is what it's about. And we are going to catch you if you think you can do something like this. We don't care if you're across the country in California. We will find you, we will arrest you, we will extradite you, and we will bring you to justice. We cannot allow this political violence to continue any longer. This arrest will serve as a reminder to many. Do not do this. We will find you. Greg Kehoe is going to give some details of the incident, of the horrible crime. And we're not going to get into specifics of what's in the letter. It's pretty horrific, and it's now a pending case. But I just want to thank all of the law enforcement officers standing behind me. And I want to thank Benny and Kate for standing so strong and fighting for their views and not cowering in fear, but coming out and supporting their faith and their values. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now Benny is going to speak. And listen to his speech and look how he doesn't cower here. He makes a very bold move.
You officers. 1 month ago today, I witnessed my friend of 10 years, someone who I considered a brother, a loving husband, a devoted father, a generational leader, get assassinated on a live stream by a left-wing radical. Approximately 1 year ago, I witnessed the President of the United States get shot in the head by a left-wing radical, who also took the life of a Trump supporter in front of his daughters and wife. 2 months ago, Christian children kneeling and praying in a church were slaughtered by a left-wing extremist. And 2 weeks ago, federal law enforcement was shot at multiple sniper rounds in a federal facility by a left-wing extremist. If it's happening every single week, is it that extreme? Or has the Democrat Party mainstreamed violence as a political tool? The individual who wrote me described why he wanted me dead. I was a white, cis, Christian Trump supporter. They described in great detail how I would be killed in an open field just like Charlie, how much blood would come out of my head and neck when it was blown off. This individual described orphaning my 4 beautiful children and widowing my wife with great joy. You might want to say another left-wing radical, another extremist. And to that, I would like to direct your attention to the state of Virginia, where Democrats have nominated and are about to vote for the chief law enforcement officer in that state, a man who has done the exact same thing, an individual who's calling for the assassination by bullets of Republicans that he disagrees with, the killing of their children, the slaughtering of, as he says, little fascists. Are my 4 innocent, beautiful children little fascists? Violence has been mainstreamed by the Democrat Party. It is not extremist, it is mainstream. And we need a moment of reckoning here. This has to stop. This cycle must end. Is any Democrat courageous enough to disavow violence? To call for individuals that espouse these things, like what happened to my family, or what's happening in Virginia, to call for those kind of candidates to step down? Will Democrats vote for that? Because if you're voting for that, then implicitly you're encouraging it, you're endorsing it. I don't want political violence. I want peace in my nation. I love this country. I want to be able to debate like Charlie did. I want to be able to raise my family in peace. That is our birthright. But you cannot make peace with evil as a Christian. You cannot unite with people who want you dead. I want unity in this nation. I want to be able to agree on more than what we disagree on. But for that first to happen, we must understand the battle. We are fighting good versus evil, darkness versus light. And good must conquer evil. Do not make peace with evil. To that end, and in conclusion, I would like to thank federal law enforcement, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bonj.
Now watch what Pam Bondi, how she comes. She doesn't backpedal, but she wants to be very clear about what is illegal and what they're going to come after. And I want to kudos to Benny for taking a stance and really boldly condemning what Jay Jones did in Virginia. He's standing up for election of the AG in Virginia, and he had these threats against conservatives. So we're going to look at that in a second, but let's listen to Pam Bondi first.
No, this was a left-wing radical, absolutely. The same type of person who murdered and assassinated Charlie Kirk. That's what we're talking about here today. But it doesn't matter who you are. If you commit an act of violence, a written threat through the mail, we are going to find you. These men behind me are going to hunt you down and find you. This guy thought he got away with this, and he thought he could hurt Benny and his family, and it's not going to happen. We have open cases, other open cases all over this country, and we're going to find you. If anyone is sending a threatening communication through the mail, like they did to Benny Johnson, we're going to find them, and we're going to prosecute them. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Okay, so as you heard, she clarified here. She made it very specific. When Benny called for and called out Jay Jones in Virginia for his text messages, she said, "Well, we're going to go after you if you take a violent action, like mailing a letter, a threatening letter to somebody. We're going to come after you." What I want to say about his speech, though, is Benny made a very good point, is that this is not just radical, isolated incidents. This is not just radical leftist violence. The Democrat Party has mainstreamed violence as a political tool. That's what he said. I agree. They do that. And they know the line between what's protected speech and how far they can push these calls for violence. Let's take a look at what Jay Jones did.
This week, Democrats are dealing with an October surprise of their own after messages sent by Democratic candidate for Attorney General Jay Jones surfaced. The messages sent to another lawmaker talked about shooting the Republican Speaker of the State House, Todd Gilbert. One of the messages read, 3 people, 2 bullets, Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Adding, put him with, quote, the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. The messages were sent back in 2022 after Jones had already resigned from his seat in the House of Delegates. Jones responded in a statement Friday, writing, I take full responsibility. He offered his deepest apologies to Speaker Gilbert and went on to say, reading back those words made me sick to my stomach. I am embarrassed, ashamed, and sorry.
In the case of Jay Jones, the Democrats have a violence problem. It is very clear they keep talking about violence.
Well, Saturday night, Governor Youngkin did release a statement calling for Democrats to push for Jones to end his campaign. So did Republican candidate for governor Winsome Earl-Sears. She writes, Jay Jones wished death on children and fantasized about killing people, adding, any serious leader would say Jay Jones must drop out. Democrat Abigail Spanberger, who is also running for governor, issued a statement which reads in part, I spoke frankly with Jay about my disgust. I made clear to Jay that he must fully take responsibility for his words.
And meantime, President Trump shared a lengthy post on social media where he mentions current Attorney General Jason Miyares and Democratic candidate for governor Abigail Spanberger. And toward the end, the post reads in part, Democrat Jay Jones should drop out of the race immediately.
So let's talk about this a little bit. Jay Jones is made those threats, and why does that fly? Why doesn't Pam Bondi say, yeah, that is also against the law or anything? It is because these are what they call abstract threats. And that's protected under free speech. Now, should he resign, or should he be called to? Should the Democrats basically tell him to step down and abandon his race? Of course, if you do that, you can lose your job. But there is the First Amendment, and the First Amendment protects hate speech as free speech. It's protected speech. Sending a letter in the mail, making a direct threat to somebody, that is not protected, as my understanding. So I'm going to read for you the letter that Benny Johnson's family received. And if you have kids in the room, maybe just pay attention that this is not going to be pretty. So you may want to send them out or pause the video here, not play this in public to your kids. So let's watch. Let's read this letter together. Why was I not surprised to see you wrap yourself in the flag? This is, what flag is this? Christian flag, the US flag. That's the only flag I can imagine. You are Charlie Kirk Jr. Okay, so he's accusing him of being Charlie Kirk's small version of Charlie Kirk. Hates Charlie Kirk. Why does he hate Charlie Kirk? Sick of you white cis Christian whiners spewing hate. So remember, truth and disagreement is hate in these people's minds. While hiding under the veneer of legitimate debate. The veneer of legitimate debate. Yeah. You and all your fellow white MAGA podcasters are nothing but revolting white racists and pedophiles. Pedophiles. So you have millions of racist subscribers. Again, racist. This is just sick. I must admit I did not realize how many of you shallow, bigoted slugs exist in the US. You all need to be exterminated. Don't worry. Won't be me. I'm not giving you up my freedoms for worm. You can just imagine what they redacted here, like you. Please give my regards to Brendan Carr, a dazzling piece of Catholic and contributor to P25 you interviewed. Another prostrating Trump boot licker like yourself. Nothing I write here today is going to influence you, but it is not intended to. You are obviously a lost, disgruntled, petty, and pathetic waste of flesh with no value to the human race. The world has so much hate and pain thanks to people like you and Charlie Kirk. Can a person be so blind that they write a letter like this and accuse the person they're writing the letter to of hate? Can you be so confused and so mentally ill that you write a letter like this and accuse in the letter the other person of being hateful? You are so evil, man. Who's evil? Do you dream of hurting other people when you're asleep, besides during every waking moment? Here is hoping the American flag strangles the life out of you. My uncle drowned in the Rhine River to defeat fascists like you, and I will not let his death be in vain. Yeah. This guy's uncle did not die in the Rhine River for sure to defeat the Nazis in Germany. No. The saddest part of your dribbles, your contamination of naive minds. Look at the accusation. So the conservatives are the ones with the naive minds. Maybe someone will blow your head off. This is very loving speech. This is love speech by a leftist. We can hope, planning any public engagements. Love to see your head explode and your blood stain the concrete red. What a sight. This is a very, very threatening letter. And an unhinged person, clearly this is a dangerous individual. This is not somebody who is thinking clearly. There is a very big problem going on here, where they are projecting their own evil onto another person and then hate that person. They're projecting their own, what's inside of them, onto the other person and hate them for it. This is demonic. And demonized people are now all over the place. And they are crazy. And they are unhinged. There is no other explanation for TDS other than demonization. You know, the Bible says the devil came to steal, kill, and destroy. He's a murderer from the beginning. He's the father of lies. He walks around like a roaring lion, seeing whom he can devour. He's a deceiver. His name means the opposer, the accuser, the adversary. He is a revolter. He's a hater. He's a mass murdering psychopath. And the demons that follow him are exactly that. They steal, kill, and destroy. And they don't just destroy people in their target. They don't just destroy other people. They destroy the person they inhabit immediately. That's what they lead. They make that person destroy themselves. This is what is sad. When Jesus cast out the legion of 2,000 or so demons out of a man, they went into a flock or into a herd of pigs, and the pigs immediately jumped off a cliff and committed suicide. That's evil. This is what you're looking at is pure unadulterated evil on paper by someone who is completely demonized.